And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Octo Dice. This is a game that is based on another game called Aquasphere, which is actually from a different company. This game here is from AEG. Aquasphere came out from Tasty Minstrel Games. And Aquasphere was a Stefan Feld game where you were in this underwater lab, and it sounded really cool, but it was actually really boring. At least in my opinion, moving around and getting different robots and scoring points. It sounds cooler than it is. But some people really like it. However, just because I don't like a game doesn't mean I won't like the dice version of that game. I do like dice. So I like also, I call these kind of games like dice solitaire games, where you have a sheet of paper and you're scoring and you're writing down the different scores on them. You can play them by yourself or you can play them with other people. Problem is, when you play them with other people, is there any kind of interaction? Well, there's a little bit of interaction in this one. I'll show you. So each player is going to get a sheet of paper to keep track of their score on. One person's going to go first, and you're going to be taking 6 turns over the course of the game. Each turn is considered to be each 2 turns is considered to be a third. There's a bit of scoring that happens between those. On your turns, you're going to be rolling 6 dice. There are 3 white dice, which show 5 different actions, and they also show an octopod type creature on them. Then there's black dice, which show numbers and colors, and then the octopod, which is hard to see, but he is on the 6th side. So what you do is you'll roll all the dice on your turn, and then you must pick a pair of dice. So maybe I'll pick these 2. It could be 2 white, 2 black, doesn't matter. You pick 2 and set them aside, then you roll the rest, and maybe I'll pick these 2 now, and then roll the final ones. Now, amongst these dice that I have now rolled, I can take up to 2 actions. An action is using a white die along with a number die. Now you'll notice I rolled a diamond. So for example, I could take this white diamond and this 2, which by the way is the highest number. I could take a diamond with another die, a number die, and I get that many points. So for action 1, I might say down here, I have 2 points, and I cross one of these off to show that I got it. At the end of the game, whoever crosses off the most of these is going to get an extra 4 points, then 2 points. Maybe I want to do technology. For that, I need to roll a gear and then the color. So maybe I have a gear and yellow, so I can cross this off and get 1 point. Now, the thing about the technologies is they must be done in order. So you must do yellow, red, blue, green. The white one's worth 5 points. That's the last one. If I want to do technology, I just said technology, that's increasing gears, whatever. The actual real technology, if I do this, whatever number I roll, I can move my cube down onto a technology that matches this. At the beginning of the game, you'll shuffle these technologies up. They're 2-sided. Put them out here to form kind of technology trees. So let's say I move my cube down here. Now I have a new tech that I can use. This says once every turn I can change a yellow 0 into any side that I want to. Farther down at the bottom, you'll get extra bonus points, like the Super Lab down here. Depending on how far I get things down, I'll get bonus points at the end of the game. The robots, you simply need to roll a robot with a color. So let's say I roll a robot in a yellow. I'll cross this one off and get 1 point. The next time I would get 2 points. A submarine is the same thing. If you get a submarine in a color, you just match that and cross it off. A submarine doesn't give you any points, but between each third of the game, 1, 2, and 3, you will look at all your submarines and they will score you 0, 1, or 2 points depending on how many robots. So this yellow one will score me 2 points. So if I did that in the first round, it will score me 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. So that's very handy. Then that's pretty much the actions you can take, but you're also going to be keeping an eye on getting those octopod creatures, because you're going to roll the dice and take 2 actions, and then later on roll dice, take 2 actions, then the first third is over. But when you roll any octopods, you can cross them off. You need to cross off 2 of them between each of the 2 turns for each third, or you will lose 2 points. Also, if you roll a ton of octopods on 1 turn, you'll get points. If you roll all 6 octopods, which I haven't seen done, but I have seen 3 rolled to get 3 points, but all 6 will get you 7 points. After the last thirds of the game, you'll get some bonus points for having the most diamonds crossed off. and you'll get your points from some of the technology tiles that you have gotten, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. However, one last thing. When someone else goes each turn, you have a chance to do an action on someone else's turn. You're watching their technology and learning from them, and you can do that twice over in each third. So let's say someone else rolls, and I see them get the diamond and then 2, and I'm like, yeah, I want that. So I take that here, and I'll write 2 down in this spot. So twice on other people's turns, you can take actions. So you're going to get 4 of your own actions and 2 actions on other people's turns. Again, most points at the end of the game is the winner. Well, the good news here is I really like these. The sheets are colored, that's good. And the tiles are fine. There's cubes. The dice are not the best quality. The dice have the printing on them. These are going to rub off soon. And as you can see, the little octopod creatures were actually hard to see in the black ones. It's unfortunate. I mean, in a game where dice are your main thing, the dice here should have been better quality. They had put more money into the sheets than they put into the dice, I think. That being said, the game itself is fine. I enjoy it. I like rolling dice, and I think it's an interesting way. In many games, these Yahtzee-style games, you roll dice, and you can keep as many as you want. You can roll. Here, you have to keep 2. Then it doesn't matter how good your roll is, you got to re-roll 4 of them. Doesn't matter how bad your roll is, you got to keep 2 of them. And so you pick the 2, and then you roll. Sometimes you pick 2 white ones because you're like, okay, there's my actions. Let's hope I get the colors I need on the second roll. Oh, man, all right, I'll take my third action and then one of the black dice. Now I'll roll the last 2. Give me the color I need. And so that's kind of interesting, but I really, really thought that the idea of taking an action on someone else's turn was a good concept. First of all, it kept the game from being boring when it wasn't your turn. I would sit there and I'd be just as excited about what you're rolling as you would be, and I'd be like, oh, come on, re-roll that die. Re-roll that die. I'm willing you to re-roll that die. And so I found that part fascinating. And you can be like, on the first 2 turns, be like, okay, I'm taking those actions. Then you're done. Let's say you're playing with 4 people. Then for the next, when the person's turn, and then everyone goes around again. Or you can save them to the end, but if you save them to the end, you might not get them. That's just a good concept, and it was a good addition to this game, and it keeps it from being just a solitaire dice effect. The way the dice are rolled are fine. I mean, do you want to go for these smaller point values, but at the end of the game get the most for majority? These tech ones are really good. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15 points you can get from the gears. I keep calling them techs. The techs are interesting because they can give you special abilities. They don't give you points outright, but special abilities which can help you out later in the game. And the submarine and robots is a good combo. And even the octopods, I like that concept where they're bad, they're worthless, right? But you need to roll 2 of them over at a time or you'll lose 2 points. So they're not that worthless. And if you get too many of them, sometimes for example, if you roll 3 octopods, you're only going to get to take 1 action that turn because you don't have enough dice left to make another action. So they give you some points for rolling a bunch of octopods, and you might even go, let's Yahtzee this out and see how many octopods I can get. There's not a huge amount of divergent paths you can take in this. I imagine that most people, when they play it, will go, that was fun, put it away, and pull it out and play it again. It's not one that you're going to want to play over and over again, I think. Other than the different technology tiles changing and shifting, the gameplay is only going to offer so many branches. However, it's better than Aquasphere, and it's a good dice-style game. It's a little bit more thinky of one of these games than many of them are. And I think some people are going to really like it for that. The theme works. Other than the dice, the components are okay. It's a small box. I like the artwork on the front, which doesn't really come out in the game itself. But hey, if you're looking for a unique, interesting die-rolling game that keeps you interested even when it's not your turn, check out Octo Dice. Dice Tower Judgment approved!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!